Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we're back with another episode of SDF Macross. We just watched, what was the name of the episode, Lessons?
Um, no, I know this one is going to be Bye Bye Mars, but I actually forgot about the
I
name
think it
of the
was,
title.
I didn't write it down or anything. I think it's Daedalus Attacks, wasn't it?
Data's Attack, yeah.
I remember Daedalus was in the name, and thus we also had that whole
Mm,
comment section about the naming of the two aircraft carriers. My man blanked there for a second
mhm, yeah.
beforehand. Anything sticking out to you that might apply to this episode from last time?
We're starting to see more about Hayase, and I think that's gonna be as a preview of the last episode showed that this episode is certainly going to be centered around her,
Well, her
and
backstory.
her backstory anyway. So that's pretty cool. And I always thought that she was a pretty cool character overall. We have the whole thing in the Oya-san that she's the old lady, even though she's probably what 22, 23, maybe 25 at most, right? Uh so I think it's you call her old lady because she's unmarried, right? Doesn't have a boyfriend or anything like that. So it's like, oh no, she's the old lady. And there's a whole joke about him being in the store and they caught him near the lingerie, however you say
Lingerie.
spell it,
The lingerie,
lingerie.
yeah.
Uh,
They specifically went in, where's your lingerie section? And he's
yeah,
kneeling down behind a mannequin wearing a bra.
yeah. And so it's like, oh no, you're a pervert, blah blah blah. And he's like, no, I just have groceries in my hands. Of course, the way he acts later on when he realizes who he's talking to, because they're in civilian clothes, right? And he's not. He's like, oh crap, I messed up. But yeah, I was talking about earlier. He's having that transformation. He starts very bratty. He's like, oh no, I'm just gonna fly over here. Where everybody's like, oh, that's dangerous. Yeah, dude, it's a combat mission. You should be where everyone else. That's the whole point. If you're flying over there, they're gonna spot you. So get them on the rocks, right?
I guess I also missed the part where they only sent one ship out to get them
Yeah,
across. Because I'm like, why are you preemptively attacking them when the previous scene that we got shown was literally their fleet blotting out the stars behind them that they've sent so many ships? And it's like, oh, because they only sent one ship. We're doing the villain of the week thing where we don't send enough to take care of. So a show that I've been watching that I think I just finished maybe like a week ago was Magic Knight Rayearth, right? Where literally the girls get summoned to a planet and they have to defeat the big bad, otherwise the planet's going to be destroyed. And the bad guy sends out one villain every episode to fight them, and it's like, if you sent everybody all at once, this would be handled. It's like I don't think you want to win. It became a running theory while I was watching the show. I just don't think you
yeah.
want to win.
Yeah. Although here the conceit is that again, the aliens have one view of the thing and the humans have the other, right? For the humans, it's like, oh my god, they want to destroy us. They're it's always very perilous for them. But for the aliens, it's like we just want to capture the ship, go home wherever home is. Just send the one ship and see if it works.
Yeah, but the thing is that they keep sending like, oh, we sent a scout fleet, they destroyed it. Oh, we sent another scout fleet, they destroyed it. Well, we sent one ship. Guess what they did? You know,
Yeah.
it's like if you sent all of your ships, you'd not only overwhelm their defenses, you could probably board it. You know how all those aircraft carriers have giant holes in them, opening them up to space for some reason? I think your giant dudes could just walk in there. The same way that apparently one of the Valkyries in humanoid mode can just walk into your ships.
Yeah.
It
I
very much
guess it's so
seems monster of the week.
yeah. I mean, again, it's a situation where you don't want the show to be over too quickly, and they haven't figured out how to temper that. It's like, oh, we could overwhelm them, but we don't want that because then the show would be like 3 episodes, right? So
I don't
yeah,
know. It feels like
very contrived, yes,
I'm just
I
saying,
guess.
like even dumb me, right? The stupidest
Mhm.
version of me can already write versions of this show that is handles the thing. It isn't over, right? Like, what if they just destroyed the Zentradi fleet? Not like all of them, right? But enough to make them turn back and make him say we need reinforcements. Do the Wing Zero thing where you just super blast into space and just sweep through, and boom, you destroyed enough of their fleet. They retreat. We go back to Earth and we cover some fucking backstories, like the Unification War, or why things are the way they are. And then the Zentradi come back. And whatever we're waiting for to do this major military engagement with the Zentradi, we do it then. Now that we've covered who everybody is and why they're important.
I mean, yeah, that's one way of doing it. Yeah. I think also, and maybe the Centrati don't know how to do the whole capture thing, and they seem to be again two notes: hold, like you said earlier in the another episode, hold back or go full bore. Right? They don't seem to have a middle step, because all the things that we've seen about Centrati is that they're a military culture. Right? We don't see any civilians. We don't see anything. So it's like, oh, either we go to war and kill you, or oops, what do we do? You know?
It's just that they don't have. Sorry, I've already lost myself. I had a point, and then you said something specific that knocked me off my track, which is they're a military culture. They don't have any civilians. It's like, well, they don't appear to have any civilians on their ships. Clearly, they didn't pick up a bunch of refugees on their way out here to the fight. So maybe they do have civilians back home. We wouldn't know. I wouldn't expect a ton of civilians to be on a warship without like an accident happening or something. This isn't
I mean,
Star
but
Trek.
yeah, but at least you would expect to have like, I mean, we haven't seen like technicians either, right? We've seen everybody, but again, we're only seeing the military side of them.
I don't know.
It
We've
might be
seen the
something else.
bridge crew because I've made jokes about the
Mhm.
fact that they've got like when you go to visit New York and you're on the side of the bay and you put a quarter into the thing so you can see the view. That the
Yeah.
bridge is so large that they get the little viewer things on the top, so your admiral here can look down and see what everybody's doing. Because the guys
Mhm.
sitting on the bottom at the tables,
Oh,
they're just like regular flag officers or whatever. I don't know what you would call them. But I mean, they should be able to take the ship. I don't remember what my point was, but even if they don't know how, they're your estimation that they're like military and they're smart tactically or whatever. Their tactics so far have been Zap Brannigan levels.
true.
I've sent in wave after wave of my own scout ships until they ran out of fuel. I don't know what their plan is here. They even point out, when they're in transformation mode, they're moving slower. Why are they doing that? It's like I don't know. They did. I would assume at this point, now that they know that they're not firing their main cannon for some reason, like assumedly they saw Mega Punch happen. It's like
Yeah.
okay, well, we'll just surround the ship on all sides. If we're so willing to sacrifice every ship that we have, we should be willing to surround them, because assumedly they're not going to destroy all of our ships, and we can board them. We've already proven that our missiles go through their armor. That's
Yeah.
how Hiriko and Minmay escaped from their dungeon sequence.
Hmm.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's just
I
the
don't know what to
logic
tell
not
you.
adding up. So that's
Yeah.
my problem when we get to shows from the 70s to 80s, is that they have the same logic that cartoons of the era have. They
Hmm.
take themselves more seriously, which is what I appreciate. But they also follow the same logic as cartoons because we don't take ourselves too seriously, otherwise we're going to lose the younger audience. But we can't take ourselves much too seriously because not too many adults are tuning in.
Yeah. I mean, this was more for teenagers, right? This is so it's not. It wasn't for like 8 year olds and 9 year olds, more like 12 year olds, 13 year olds, 15 year olds, right? Uh, until they discovered that it actually was young adults who had the money to buy all the toys, the
Yep. I
otakus.
think
Right?
I think I remember that
Yeah,
from the Secret Galaxy recap of
yeah.
Robotech. Is that Harmony Gold makes that same discovery? Is that you can't market the toys to kids because kids don't have the buying power to supply what we need to fund the show. All right. Well, any other thoughts?
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing what we discover of the backstory of Misa Hayase, the old lady of the bridge.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra. I bet we're starting off with a theme song. Yes, we are.
Of course. They paid top Yang for this song, so of course they're gonna use it. That's an awful lot of buttons. I do like the display though, because it harkens to something that actually will happen later on in aviation. Well, it will start into that, which is called a glass cockpit, where instead of having a lot of dials and stuff, you have what's called MFDs, multifunctional displays, or little screens with buttons around. So pilots saying, okay, this is the radar, I'm going to switch it to other modes and stuff like that. So yeah, here you have like a three-dimensional holographic display. Or
Yeah, that's it. I thought that I was waiting for you to say that word. I thought you meant the holographic display that if you're looking straight ahead and on it, you can see it. I'll be honest, I don't know much about aircraft technology. It's the same reason why like I don't play tabletop games that are modern. Because despite the fact that I live in it, it's the world that I know the least about. So I'm better off with sci-fi, where anything I don't know I can fill in and it sounds plausible. Whereas if I say something about the modern world, that's wrong. Don't you follow fucking politics? I feel stupid when I don't know something about modern world. I thought we were just attacking Mars for no reason. One of these ships seems older than the rest.
空の基地か。
友軍艦隊合流ポイントです。ブリタイ艦か。どこの艦隊が合流するので？
ボトル機関艦隊所属第109分岐艦隊第7空間機構師団だ。
もしやまさかそんな
Not him.
人クラウシラの師団では。
さすが記録参謀。
いけません。あいつの戦歴をご存じないのですか？モナ作戦では飲酒の上、艦内で乱闘を起こし。
This came out before Warhammer, right?
イスリス戦域においては敵師団を全
I
滅
don't,
させたも
I don't know. I think Warhammer starts around this time, yeah.
なんと呼ばれている
This gives me the feel of if this is the God Emperor of Mankind, guy with the admiral there, that his archivist is that other guy who collects like old Terran artifacts.
Yeah.
It's my favorite scene from Starship Troopers. You know, when all the ships run into each other.
言わんこっちゃないカムチンめ万事この調子だ私は知りませんぞカムジンクラウシライカ第7
Hey, it's that other guy that I almost was gonna put my character as.
ぶつかったのは4隻だ賭けは俺の勝ちだぜ酒の割り当てはこっちのもんだやめろバカ司令殿が聞いてるぞ
So why do you have booze?
カムジン、肝に銘じておけ。軽はずみな真似は許さん。お前も6タームも待たされて、やっと巡ってきた戦いのチャンスを棒に振る気はあるまい。
我々に何をせ
よろしい。第7惑星に空の基地がある。この基地に敵艦をおびき寄せ。
Sorry, does he just say 7th planet?
仕掛けておき、敵艦の動きを封じ
I think 7 years, 7 tamans, whatever that means.
No, no, no. He said there's an abandoned base, and I swear he said on the 7th planet. Yeah, don't try. It doesn't make sense in either direction.
Yeah, I would have to rewatch it and see if that actually makes any sense.
'Cause I'm pretty sure he said 6 Tamaz. You've waited 6 Tamaz, so don't squander this chance to get back into battle.
エディ団20
イエスサースカル大隊5時15度方向よりの敵を迎撃せよ
スカルリーダー了解
敵が退却していきます
今日のところは終わったようだな
No smoking on the bridge.
帰還せよ
この3日間何度も攻撃するなんて敵もしつこいわね。
その度に地球のコースからどんどんそれちゃう。やあね。
Again, you'd figure they'd have enough forces to, like, attack non-stop.
ええ、このところ毎日ですから。
まあしばらくは攻撃してこんだろうから街へ出てゆっくりしろよ。
I like the little backpacks. I guess they're supposed to be oxygen or something.
Could be an emergency supply in case your thing gets destroyed and you're put out in space. You know, Star Wars apparently has that.
久しぶりね。元気？
みんめ、もう学校は終わったの？
さっきの空襲で休校になったの。どうしたの？冴えない顔しちゃって。
I've only had to go to school 2 days this
聞い
week.
たろ？今の放送。
ええ。敵の戦闘機体を全滅させたんでしょ？
あんなの嘘っぱちさ。
E?
半分だって落としてないし、味方だってずいぶんやられちゃったよ。
そうなの。でも仕方がないんじゃない？戦争なんだからいじけてても始まらないわ。お茶でも飲みに行こう。
I don't know. It's not what Gurren Zabi
He's
would
caught,
say.
yeah.
Gurren Zabi would tell you to take your sorrow and turn it into anger. Macross thirsts for the strength of its people. I don't know. Seems like the military is getting prepared for an internal invasion.
へえ、来週誕生日なのか。
The freeze frame was not great.
観測データの自動通信のようですね。発信ポイントは火星のサラ基地です。
確かサラ基地は閉鎖されているはずだ。
So they powered it back up and are using it as a trap?
全員
Is that the ploy?
関東に攻撃され全滅したはずだが。
誰か基地に残ったんでしょうか。
まさかサラ基地といえばかなりの大型基地。しかも補給物資はそのままになっているはず。艦の損傷は
ここに支障ありません。
地球へ向かうコースからどれぐらいそれてしまったかな。
はい、火星方向へ16度です。
It is kind of funny in this situation in sci-fi that they put it so that all the planets are basically in some sort of near alignment.
Well, I mean, they're saying basically they're forcing them to go to Mars, as opposed to that they were going to Mars in the first place.
Right. I just mean like on their space map, they showed like all the planets in alignment and that they basically could go from Pluto to Saturn.
Yeah.
And not like Saturn's on the far side of the system or anything.
True enough.
あの大きく赤い星が来週僕が行く火星なんだよ。
それじゃあライバー少尉の火星行き決まったんですね。
そうさ、ずっと申請して。
Oh look, does this guy have red hair?
今度のことでは
They're supposed to be brown.
Yeah, well, so is Hikaru's.
でもよかったですね。
I'm just saying he's a potential love interest for Min-Mei now. That last episode.
観測基地ぐらいが性に合ってるよ。
まあ。
おっと、今のは君のお父さんには内緒だよ。
もちろんです。誰にも言いません。でももう会えないんですね。
火星なんかそのうち誰でも来れるようになるさ。
そうだわ。私も軍人。
I'm noticing a thing that they're doing with the eyes, which I guess is supposed to indicate youth.
早く来れるといいね。
Because she's doing a thing with her eyes that Min-Mei does with hers that nobody else there, except for people their age, seem to do. Except for the alien scientist guy. Well, if there's one thing that I learned from Interstellar, is that you go where love tells you to go in space.
偵察用キャッツアイを飛ばしてくれ。
はい。
基地および周辺に現在のところ異常なし。偵察リガート、エラオよりカムジン隊長へ。偵察機がそちらに向かいました。
Well, that explains why the armored unit got sent out. It's like, what good were they going to do in space? We don't need them in space. But lure them onto a planet.
基地および周辺に現在のところ異常なし。
基地および周辺に現在のところ異常なし。
偵察リガート、エラオよりカムジン隊長へ。偵察機がそちらに向かいました。
Well, that explains why the armored unit got sent out. 艦降下中着地しましたが重力機雷が有効範囲から外れています慌てるなそのうち敵は基地に近づく
We saw one of those on the original Assault, episode 1, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a officer's pod.
Ripping off BattleTech a little bit, I feel like.
Well, those designs originally were Macross designs that FASA took as is and started a whole mess of problems with some other people and lawsuits and the like.
Got all the pepper we could want. Our
And
zoo,
ET too.
yeah, our zoo is gonna be full of ETs.
Yes, sir.
That's right, get closer to those gravity mines.
罠にはまり込んだ時が勝負だ
私も基地へ向かわせていただきたいんですが
君が
なぜ活動を始めたのか調べたいんです。
いや
もし残留者でもいたら
私がカバーしますわ艦長
よろしい許可しよう
Only in shows like this in Star Trek, right? Send the bridge crew out. Not the countless number of work crews that we've got.
あと少しの辛抱
先輩来週休みが欲しいんですけど
ああ来週うちの部隊はみんな休みだ部隊の連中が民名ちゃんから誕生日の招待状をもら
That didn't bode well for you.
実は俺もそうなんだ
余計なおしゃべりをしてるのは誰
クローディア
いつものおばさんじゃないんですか
いつもの人はちょうどあなた方の足元を走ってるわ
Surprised this place doesn't have a dome, or at least, you know, like a destroyed dome.
It does. The dome's there apparently.
Oh, she's gonna be the one that finds out it's a trap. Not one of the countless workers that are out there.
Oh, they were just looking for supplies, so.
Yeah, but we already know they're miracle workers. One of them should notice, oh, the ground mirror's been disturbed. I think there's a mine under here.
そうイライラするぜ
隊長もう我慢できません先に行きます
何この野郎この俺が我慢してるってのに
Oh, he's dead. That wasn't even a joke.
いいか他の連中もよく聞け二度とこんな真似をするんじゃねえぞ
山脈の運河にて異常振動をキャッチしました爆発反応のようです
爆発だと直ちにキャッツアイを向かわせてく
I
れ
mean, honestly, at that point, you should probably just let him go.
11時方向15キロ地点の調査に
Or
向かって
go all
くだ
in
さい
on him.
キャッツアイ207了解
Come on, my first thought was, yeah, they're gonna detect the explosion.
気づかれたか
So you either have to launch your attack because of him, or
クソ
キャッツアイからのデータ分析完了
make them think that you're just the one TIE fighter.
これは戦闘ポイントの大部隊ではないか
少なく見積もっても1000機以上はいると思われます
クローディア
10,000?
戦闘準備
全艦戦闘配置繰り返す全
Well, yeah,
艦
it's the
戦闘
entire
配置
division, right?
艦長 防ぎきれるでしょうか。
まず無理だな。物量が違いすぎる。上昇移動する。
イエスサー。重力制御システムスタンバイ。
Oh, they managed to repair it.
Rips itself out of the ship once again. Damn it, when will we ever learn?
いえ、システムは正常に作動しています。
待ってください。地中深くに何かあります。それがマクロスの重力制御システムを抑え込んでいるようです。
なんだと。穴か。
Okay, so they're not explosive, they're just like, literally as described, gravity.
It makes sense that we use a
Essentially an
gravity mines.
interdictor class Star Destroyer. That's an effective graphic. I appreciate that there's none in the middle, you know, where you might think Macross might fire its main weapon.
敵戦闘部隊多数高速接近中。
来たか。
防衛隊はすでに迎撃態勢に入っています。しかしこのままでは。
バネサ君、地中の罠をもう一度映してくれ。
わかりました。
地下約3キロか。
地下3キロに埋まってるんじゃマクロスには攻撃方法がありません。どうしてメインロケットで上昇しないんですか？
She went real babyface for this
メイン
scene.
ロケットは3日前の戦闘でやられて使えないのよ。敵戦闘
I love it. They always have it a reply, even if it doesn't necessarily make sense. Like,
Can you say that one more time for me? You froze.
because what happened was Sammy says, "Why don't we use the regular rockets, right? The regular engines?" He's like, "No, they got damaged three days ago. Maybe they got specifically targeted so that this trap would work."
I don't know when the last fight happened in the time frame.
I think it was actually three days ago.
They got from Saturn to Mars in 3 days.
No, when they were en route to Mars, because they're being route to Mars, you know.
Oh, yeah, right. The episode started with a fight. I already forgot that. I'm trying to put it in context of the greater scope. We're getting to the minor battles. So there's only 20,000 work crew. No, it can't be. There has to be some other people that aren't work crew as well.
Yeah.
Engineers, scientists, whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably studying the ship until the very last minute. Contractors.
She gonna find the corpse of her boyfriend?
No, I think they got what it said was that they died. They got before they were getting out, and the anti-unification forces actually managed to destroy their ship en route back to Earth.
Right, it doesn't mean that like he didn't get left behind or something. I'm just trying to find out what narratively would fit the scene, and her having to stumble across like a dead body in a spacesuit or something would just be like fitting, I feel like.
Yes, sir.
It's my favorite episode of Battletech. Or I don't know, maybe her trying to find his room on the station or something, right? Try and find his last living record or something. Oh, what did I say?
Yeah, conveniently. Yes.
Like I said, what narratively fits for her in this situation, and that would be it. I can finally return all of your overdue library books.
Oh, she's trapped, so
救助に誰かを
I
向かわせて
don't
くれ
think that's gonna happen.
建物に残っている早瀬中央
I don't know.
光る
Call me a skeptic here, Lessons, but I don't think she's gonna die.
今回は人命救助が目的だ。その方がお前も気が楽だろう。
助ける相手が早瀬中尉ってのが気に入らないですけどね。
贅沢言うな。
ええ、わかりました。やってみます。
I would be pissed if I got back to the ship and I heard this recording. Give me the breakdown of the fight that happened outside. I want to try to improve the tactics of our officers. What the fuck did he just say? Probably to our benefit that these things just stand around and do nothing for a long amount of time. I mean, think about how this high-tech alien shit. Dude just lands in the middle and takes like 20 of them out.
あれだな。
That is a Gundam noise.
Yeah.
That is the Wing Zero alert noise, but it also gets used in OG Gundam as McQueeve's alert noise as well. Oh, thank God she didn't give up and take her helmet off or something.
ダイバーの部屋なんてことするの？帰ってちょうだい。
ふざけないでさ。
帰って。
爆発臨界まであと1分です。
何があったのか知らないけど、こっちだって命がけで来てんだぞ。
ほっといてよ。
そうはいくかい。
いや、離してよ。
爆発臨界30秒前電気離脱
Yeah, I think if you really cared, you would have tried to, I don't know, grab the books or something.
Oh, there go the 10,000 enemies that we're attacking.
We already covered why nukes weren't used in the Unification War, didn't we?
Well, I mentioned something about Japanese having a restriction against nuclear weapons, but here it sort of gets waived, you know.
Well, I mean, why didn't we use them against the alien space fleet, right?
Yeah.
それにしても面白くなってきやがったぜ。今度
So we just saw how effective a nuclear-sized explosion can be.
Well, they're not as effective in space, I think. Because there's no atmosphere to do the, you know, the expansion wave. So you have to get direct hit.
My problem is that my only example of that comes from a sci-fi show, so I don't know if it's true or not.
林民明は16歳の誕生日を迎えた。同じその日、光は少尉に昇進。そしてマックスと柿崎という2人の
It
部
does
下を
not
与え
get
ら
to
れ
a
た。
tune. I mean,
し
a
かし
tan.
最
Get
良
to
の
the
日は
party.
ハムジンの指揮する機構師団の襲来によって破られた。マクロスは窮地に陥る。次回、超時空要塞マクロスロンゲストバースデー。
Not the episode I thought it was going to be. When I had to make the schedule, the release schedule to put up on like the Discord and the channel and everything, I of course have to look ahead to see what the names of the episodes are, so I can put it on the calendar thing. I know there's an episode coming up called Miss Macross, so I thought that was going to be it.
No.
What I was going to say before, the only example of a nuke in space that came to my mind, I guess maybe I could have thought of Independence Day, the movie. But the one I was thinking of was when Babylon 5, the movie in the beginning, when the only victory that we have against the Minbari is Sheridan puts a nuke as a mine on an asteroid and lures in one of the Minbari ships.
Yeah.
Because it still does like the giant nuclear blast. Obviously, it doesn't do like a mushroom cloud or anything. It's just a very large blast in space.
Yeah. And I think there's he uses a couple of them. Yeah. But yeah.
Otherwise, I can't remember any of the actual historic tests of nukes in space, or if they even did any. I only remember, what was it, U.S. Plan A119, which was to nuke the moon for some reason, to, I guess,
Yeah.
surprise the Soviets because they had just gotten Sputnik up.
I think one of the reasons I said was that you wouldn't see much except for a tiny little flash because, again, the moon does have an atmosphere, but it's extremely thin.
Sorry, I'm now thinking of an argument I've heard of somebody else saying that same statement and everybody else calling that person an idiot. I think that was a Yogscast thing where they were just playing Civilization 6 and somebody says the moon has an atmosphere and everyone's like, you fucking idiot, it does not. Which is now my problem is that I take in shit that I watch and it mixes so much with the reality I know that I no longer know what's real or not.
I mean, atmosphere in the simplest form of atmosphere is any particular suspended in or around orbit of a major object. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like Earth atmosphere, which is considerably thick.
Well, that's confusing to me now because it almost curtails the definition of a planet, right? Sufficiently rounded by its own gravity, which is one of the reasons, one of the definitions that eliminated Pluto. Or I think Pluto is actually eliminated by it has to be the dominant thing inside of its own orbit. And Pluto's own moon is, I think, its same size or larger. That's why Pluto gets relegated to a planetoid and not a planet. So the idea that any atmosphere is anything being withheld by the gravitational pull of a planet to orbit around it. It's weird. I don't know. These definitions.
Yeah.
The episode, though, I think this is a pretty good episode. I like the flashback to a history that we're never going to get anything else about, I assume. Like, I assume those books were not filled with something important. You know, like, here's the secret space base of the anti-UN forces that can resupply the Macross with all the weapons it needs to fight its way back to Earth.
What can I say? Well, I do like the solution. I like the fact that they're like, oh, we need to trap this ship. Okay, so we put some troops there. Everybody does recon. So at least they check out the base. It's not like they just land there like, oh, well, we're just going to get stuff. We're actually going to send some recon, right? And that's kind of thing that we be having back and forth in these discussions. Like, they do a couple of things that are very smart, and then something happens and seems very plot contrived. Right?
Well, I mean, it's very much the Misa is her name, right?
Misa Hayase, yes.
Yeah, it's very much, well, can I just go out and make sure there's nobody there? It's like, no, how about you tell me what you want to get done, and I'll make sure one of our work crews goes and checks it out. I need you on the bridge. Should have been the course of a conversation there. What do you mean you need to go check it out? Why? Why should always be the question that first gets asked when one of these characters says something.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get that? Can I get the next 2 weeks off? Why? I mean, Roy doesn't need to ask why. He explains. He already knows. Everyone got a birthday invite. Min-May's a little minx, apparently.
Yeah, I mean,
she probably tells everybody at the restaurant that no, just a friend, but everybody else.
I think again, it's the clash of how Hikaru sees things. He wants her to be his girlfriend, right? That's how he sees it. And she sees more like, I want a friend, right? I want somebody who has been through this stuff. She admires him, and maybe she does have some feelings for him, but it's more like, I'm gonna tease him. Like, she's just cool. I mean, she mentions he's just got out of school because the attack suspended it. So, and he's already in the military. So, yeah, there is a gap.
Well, we've already covered the fact that we're recruiting really young. Mm-hmm. So that's from Unification War to today. I'm just saying I would not be surprised to find out that half the pilots in the Valkyrie Jet Force, whatever we're calling it, the Air Force, have a picture of a person with Min-May on board. Like, everyone is like, same fountain, same everything. Literally, Min-May has a deal with the guy who has the camera bot. They give you 1/10 of as many quarters as get fed to this thing.
Yeah. Or yen in this case.
Right. Well, I don't know. I don't know coinage in yen. I've seen some of them. Some of them have the square bit in the middle of a round coin and all that. I don't know what the breakdown in coinage of yen is either. I think they have the equivalents of 1 yen coins, whereas
Yeah.
we phased those out for the most part. So,
Yeah, I think they're 100 to 1, the same as in the
well, no,
US
I know that's the
dollars.
conversion rate because
Yeah.
that tends to come up in like the modern shows that we've watched here on the channel, like Chainsaw Man, and right, where Chainsaw Man's like, I sold an organ for this much, and we're like, we've got to know how much he sold an organ for. Specifically, I think Denji and Chainsaw Man sold like his left nut for some money, and it's like, we've got to know how much he sold his left nut for. This is important information.
Yeah. Although if this is a unification war, would they be actually be using dollars, right? I don't know. Or new currency, global currency, perhaps?
I don't know. Their captain's name is Global.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a Japanese show, so I gotta assume that we're always going to be with the yen because not a lot of Japanese shows assume that any one other country is taking over things. I brought up Voltes 5 before. Japanese show where apparently Japan is the last bulwark against defending against the alien fleet. Thousands of UFOs. Like, these people take over galaxies, not just planets, galaxies at a time. And apparently it's the one Japanese robot. There is an American on the team. He's an asshole. But there is one American on the team. Well, it's funny. It's funny because the main character rides a motorcycle and shoots like targets while he's on the motorcycle, and he's the Japanese guy. The American guy rides a horse and uses a bullwhip. So it's like the American guy is just the other guy, but worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the assumption is that Japan defends the world. But the same thing works with every country, right? I watch some South Korean movies, and it's like, okay, the South Korean space agency is like the NASA. It's the only one in the world that works, right?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, United States, either you destroy LA or maybe in New York, right?
Well, again, it's funny. Voltes 5, it's, God, I can't remember now. They do a bunch of landmarks, and most of them are not American landmarks. I think Italy is the main example, because they cover how many Italians got killed, and I think it's like 2 landmarks in Italy. But, yeah, I think it's just country of origin for show that mainly depicts it. So I would not be surprised if they listed a currency and said yen. Any other thoughts?
Where we actually got in a preview where now Hikaru's becoming a lieutenant, so he becomes an officer.
Second lieutenant, right?
Like lieutenant, yeah. So he's quickly evolving, which again brings to the point that they have to work with what they have. He's proven himself to be a good pilot.
Is he quickly evolving, or is everyone above him dying?
That too, probably is the same.
He does not seem like he's evolving at all to me. It just seems
he's
like
a better pilot.
Is he? Well, I think my complaint lies in the Juggernauts being just wholly ineffective. Like, they literally stood there, and he pulls the Rambo, right? He just goes full bore and does the spin, and they all get destroyed. And halfway through the spin, some of them decide to start firing back. I think they would be a lot more effective if they weren't in those Juggernaut things. I don't know why they exist, other than troop transports.
Oh, battle pods, they call them.
Okay, I thought they were called Juggernauts when they were listing them in one of the previous combats.
No, they were called battle pods.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different. Maybe I'm thinking of a different show. I don't.
Yeah.
Too many shows in my mind. My point being is, I think they would be more effective just wearing the armor. Like, put a jetpack on them, hold a gun. Literally, they would be, because we've seen how many people get PTSD once they know they're firing a living person. Literally, I think Hikaru would just fucking die if he faced down a bunch of these guys, because he wouldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
It's basically like Amuro in OG Gundam, right? He can't fire on Char flying away when Char's not in his Gundam. It's just a guy, and he's like, oh god, I can't shoot a person. Amuro's no problem shooting a Zaku. So, it doesn't matter if you're humanoid looking. If it's a fucking human, he can't shoot it. Same thing for Hikaru here. 2 legs and a ball, I can shoot that. A guy? No, that's a problem. If they'd had like a psychological breakdown of the pilots here, I think Zentari would be winning the day.
Zentari, yeah. I mean, he did kill the first one he met.
Well, yeah, that was like a gut reaction, though. And then he's
Yeah.
been like nightmaring it the entire time, to the point
Yeah.
where he saw the other guy. The other guy was frozen too for no good reason, but they did a little stare down. They might as well have been pointing fingers Spider-Man style for what occurred. And it was the Macross itself punching that guy to death. Well, no, he didn't get punched to death. The guys inside the fist that is an aircraft carrier firing their missiles blew him away.
Yeah.
All right, any other thoughts?
Nope.
Okay, well, this has been this episode of Stoneface Reactions, Macross, Theta, Lessons. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?